You're listening to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Philly is in the house. What's going on? Sunny California's in the house. Northern California Mountains is in the house. What's going on? Milwaukee, Wisconsin's in the building. What's going on? Miami, the 305 is in the building. Nashville's in the building. Georgia's in the building. Philly is in the building. What's going on, y'all? I am streaming live from New York City from the KEMPIRE studio for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. If you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel right now. Make sure your notifications are on. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and how you would rate it from 1 to 10. Live chat, let me know how you would rate it if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on X. Let me know how you would rate this episode. This is only episode 4. How are we feeling about the season so far? This particular episode felt a little bit like a filler episode. It did. Also, did you notice that Drew Sidora was not in this week's episode? I noticed it at the end. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Where's Drew? It's a big cast. So then I thought to myself, I was like, would we see an episode without Porsha? Probably not. I have a lot of thoughts. So buckle up. We will be recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island tomorrow during our Tuesday takeover. So for those that keep asking, I've been recapping it on Tuesday takeover. So be sure to check it out. There are timestamps available. We were live on Friday. So I talked about Summer House there. I also talked about, what else did we talk about? Ladies of London. We talked about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. Timestamps are available there as well. So be sure to check that out. Oh, Jermaine says she was not missed. I want to ask, because to be honest with you, I can't say that I missed Drew in the episode, but I did notice at the end of the episode, I was like, wait a minute, so no Drew at all? But here's the thing, what would Drew have given us? Another date with Black? I'm not interested. And we know the real story of what's going on with her and Ralph is not probably going to be shared. And it's probably intentionally not going to be shared because the last report that we gave you about Drew was the fact that she was giving Ralph half of her Real Housewives of Atlanta paycheck and half of her endorsements and movie deals. And he was also getting a check from Bravo that apparently she didn't know about. And that's probably part of the reason why we ended up getting the confessionals with no shirt from Ralph. I'm probably very happy at this particular point that we probably will not see Ralph this season. But at the same time, okay, so what are we going to talk about when it comes to Drew? Her beefs with the other women? All right. It's so funny, though. Last week, people were online shading the fact that Kelly was not in last week's episode, and Drew chimed in, only for her to backtrack on it. Did she not realize that she was not going to be in this week's episode until this week? Because I did see that she said that she was not going to be in this week's episode. But you remember, she came out and said that she fired the person that was part of her team that posted something on her socials in regards to Kelly not being in the episode. So she's claiming that she didn't do anything. I'm like, okay, Drew, stop with these stunts and shows. She apparently fired someone in her team for posting that response to Kelly not being in the episode, only for her to find out when because remember, they get the episode maybe a few days before we see the episode. So maybe she did not realize that she was in this week's episode. I need to backtrack on this. Because I'm not in this week's episode and people are going to act like they don't remember me. And they're going to be like, they didn't care to see Drew in this week's episode. So I asked the question, did you miss Drew Sidora in this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? I will say this episode did feel like a filler episode. However, I don't know if that's just because of Drew. But we will get there. Guys. Let me know what you thought of the episode for those that are just joining us. It's our weekly Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Before we get to that, I do want to say congratulations to the Michael Jackson movie. The Michael Jackson movie is the #1 movie in the country and apparently the world. And let me just tell you, first of all, according to our friends over at Pop Base on X, it said Michael, the movie, earned $217.4 million worldwide and $97 million domestically within the United States, its first weekend, marking the biggest biopic opening of all time. It cost about $200 million to produce the movie. Did you guys see the movie? I have not seen the movie yet. because I told you I didn't want to go opening weekend because everybody and their mom was going to be there, and I saw some people were cutting up at the movies and literally like dancing during the movie. I'm gonna go this week. I will let you guys know my thoughts and opinions, as you always know, because I am looking forward to it, because I'm already starting to see people's reviews of it, and I'm not going to base my thoughts and opinions on this show until I see it myself. But if you've seen it, let me know how you would rate it from 1 to 10, what you thought of it. But we also have to keep in mind, because so many people are so critical. Oh, this was left out. Why did they talk about this? Blah, 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 blah. Michael Jackson had such a big life. You remember the Michael Jackson movie that VH1 did years ago. And it was a mini series because he had such a big, he's been famous. He was famous since he was like 5 years old. So there's a lot to cover. And there was a lot that was cut out from this movie as well. So we shall see. I will let you know my thoughts on the Michael movie. So make sure if you're looking forward to that you are following me everywhere, because it probably will drop it on the podcast first. So make sure you subscribe to the KEMPIRE podcast and make sure you're subscribed here when I drop my thoughts on the Michael Jackson movie, hopefully this week. No, but you watch You, Me, and Tuscany? I need to go see that this week too. So maybe I'll go see that first, then I'll go see the Michael movie. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I still need to go see that. I'm sorry. It was a busy weekend. All right. It was a rainy Saturday. That would probably have been a perfect day to go to the movies. It was such a rainy Saturday. Like it poured. All right. It says you got your Michael outfit ready, Kemp? No, but I need to. I don't know what I'm going to wear. All right. Moving on, guys. Before I move on, make sure you're liking the video. We're almost at 200 likes already, so thank you. V says, I enjoyed the Michael movie. Oh, yeah, Nacho says, can we also look at the uptick in streaming? What do you mean? Can we also look at the uptick in streaming? What do you mean? Oh, you mean music streaming, Michael's music, because now all of his music is at the top of the charts, too. No surprise, because now the nostalgia of it all, people are like, oh, Michael Jackson, I forgot this song, I love this song, blah, blah, blah. Missy says, You, Me, and Tuscany was a cute movie. That's what I keep hearing. All right. Mika says, are you seeing Devil Wears Prada 2 this week? No, I'm not going to see it in the opening weekend. How many times I got to tell you, Mika? I'm not going opening weekend. Okay? I'm not going opening weekend. I'll go... Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I will go opening weekend. I don't know. But I have 2 movies I have to see already. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let's get to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Did you guys share the live? Have you guys subscribed? It is subscribers only live chat. Have you liked the video yet? We have nearly 800 of you here. I will never understand why you haven't liked the video yet. You're obviously here and you're going to be here for the next hour, 2 hours watching. Like the video. Share the video, subscribe, join the community. All right. Senior DST says, the movie was good. My daughter loved it. She wanted to dance in the aisle, but I told her to wait until the movie ended. My daughter was sad. When it was over, she wanted more. Oh, well, I'm glad you told her to wait till the movie ended, because I would have been looking at her like this. Sit on down, little girl. Play it. Anyway, Jermaine says, I still need to see the Mario Brothers movies. Didn't that come out 3 weeks ago? All right, let's focus. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, let me know how you guys would rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10. If I had to rate this week's episode, it's a filler episode for me. And because it was a filler episode, I think, though, last week I gave it a 6. So this week, it's a filler episode for me, I have to give it like a 5, 5.5, maybe. There were a couple moments I was like, but not. It's all right. The season's not bad. But I see what they're doing in some of the episodes that I'm sort of like, let's get a little bit more of that. You know what it is? I do feel like there are some people that are performing for the camera as opposed to giving us their real lives. And I know they will claim, oh, this is my real life. This is what's really going on. Cece says, don't stifle the kids, Kempire. I know, I was kidding. Hence why I will be going when all of you guys are in school and at work, okay? Don't stifle the kids, Kempire. You're being grumpy. I will go when you guys... y'all lucky I'm even here right now. I could be at the movie theater right now watching the Michael Jackson movie, but here I am trying to be consistent, recapping Real Housewives of Atlanta. I could be at the movies right now while you guys are all at work. This is my work. Here I is. All right, y'all. Happy tourist season for those that are just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kurt says, Kempire, was Drew in this episode? No, you just missed it. You just joined us. I did a whole rant about Drew not being in this episode. Not a rant, because it's not like I was mad about it. But okay. Neil gave it a 7. All right. Jermaine says, go later. I will probably go right after this. Okay. Will you guys still be at work? Myra says, I'm going on Saturday dressed up. I love it. Carmina says, we appreciate you, Kempire. Thank you. Carmina, your cloud bob is amazing. I'm joking. Your afro is amazing. Vogue was getting it for calling Tracy Ellis Ross's fro a cloud bob. So now every time I see it, I'm like, cloud bob. It's not a cloud bob. It's a fro. Okay. But I'm jealous because I wish I could have a fro like you. All right, let me get to this. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The very first thing that we get is Pinky and Kelly at her location, Slutty Vegan. Pinky is planning a foundation event that she's doing, a charitable event, giving back to the community. You've seen we've done something similar with Danielle, who's in the chat, in regards to toiletry, giving back to the unhoused and things like that in the DMV area. We're going to do it again this year. So Pinky does something similar, and she's been doing this, she says, and she has a whole foundation that she has set up where she gives back, okay? Pinky apparently started this foundation back in 2019. The foundation has even paid rent for local businesses. She says tuition for students, and I love it. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people want to downplay Pinky because we're meeting her at her rock bottom right now in regards to her bankruptcies and things like that, and we've talked about how bankruptcy doesn't mean that it's over, doesn't mean that you're broke, doesn't mean that you're poor, doesn't mean that you're a complete failure. Look, there are a lot of people, a lot of successful people that have gone through similar things, especially if you're a restaurateur. And I was saying this as I was watching the episode again this morning, I'm actually excited to see her rise again because so many people were ready to celebrate her when she was creating Slutty Vegan, and everyone's, oh my God, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And now the fact that she's on this reality show talking about the downside of being a restaurateur, people are like, oh, she broke, she corny. I'm excited to see her and Kelly return and be able to be very successful at their businesses and this restaurant. Because apparently, first of all, Nana's Chicken and Waffles, the chicken and waffles are good. I've never had Slutty Vegan, but a lot of you said that it's good too. Obviously, it must be good. It's been around for a very long time at this particular point, and it has multiple locations. Did she make some poor decisions when it comes to expanding? Maybe. But that happens to a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses. Lakita says that her husband, Derek, said he got it. Yeah, we're going to get to that at the end of the episode. And if that's even a smart thing for him to do, we'll talk about it. All right. Exact. Daniel says Pinky is building what you call a storyline arc. And she's the only one this season that not the only one, but she's one of the few people this season that actually has a storyline. Sidebar, we got very little of K. Michelle this week, which I'm okay with. It's a full cast, but I just thought about it. K. Michelle was there, but we didn't get a lot of K. Michelle this week. And I think maybe because we got so much of K. Michelle in the beginning, I was like, wait a minute. All right. Oh, Lord. Here you go. Danielle says, next time you come to D.C., we're going to take a field trip to Baltimore. Not to Baltimore. Not a field trip to Baltimore. That's shade Baltimore. You see how she's shading y'all? Taria, I know you're going to see the replay of this. Taria, she's shading Baltimore to take a field trip. We got to take a field trip to have big fun in Baltimore to go to Slutty Vegan. Is that the only location? There's not one in D.C.? Look, there's not one in D.C.? I don't know. If I'm going to go to Baltimore, I'm sure there's other things. No shade. I'm in New York. I can get Slutty Vegan in New York. Okay? I can literally get Slutty Vegan in New York. All right. Here go Kai. Yes, Danielle. Am I invited? You know what? That part. The Mellow React says Pinky was a producer for the Maury Povich show. Sidebar, we got Maury appearance in the episode. I think that's a flex. Mello says Pinky was a producer, so she knows how to build a storyline. And she's doing a good job at it, if we're going to be honest. You know what? Some of y'all in the chat, I just have to ignore because... and OMG. Okay. Moving along. So back to this. So she talked about this foundation that she's doing. She said they're putting together a toiletry bag. She's going to have all the women specific. This is how you know she is a business owner, because she is not just telling people to bring stuff. She's telling each individual, each woman what to bring, which me personally, I love that. Because you just tell me to bring stuff. Next minute, you're going to tell me I brought the wrong stuff. I didn't bring enough. No, you get this, you get that. She told Phaedra to get the formula and make sure they're vegan. I like that. I like when you give me direct things to do. I don't like the murkiness of, oh, you could do this, you could possibly. No, tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. And that's exactly what she does. It tells me a little bit more about her leadership skills. All right. Pinky then talks about the name of her business, and she says she's a reformed slut. Oh. She's a reformed slut, and that's where she created the whole slutty vegan brand, and she says she feels like sluts need to call each other sluts. Okay. How do y'all feel about that? Okay. Glad says, I love the Maury cameo. Me too. I was like, it came out of nowhere, and then he was on Watch What Happens Live last night, too. He must really love Pinky to be showing up the way that he's showing up. I love that. Anyway, so Slutty Vegan, the location that they're having the event at, she's had this location for 6 years. Let that sink in. Because like I said, I do feel like people are really trying to kick Pinky while she's down in regards to this business issue that she's having. Let that sink in. She's had this particular location, and this is not where it started. She's had this particular location for 6 years. 6 years being in the restaurant business is not easy. A lot of these restaurants go under in less than a year. So she's had this brand for a very long time. As I said to you before, Pinky told the women what they need to bring, so she gave everyone specific duties of what they should bring. Okay. Pinky then talks about being sued. That literally, as they were filming this, we were reporting on these different stories that she was being sued for $87,000 in back rent. Okay. And I think it was this location that she was at. So Pinky says that she's considering filing for bankruptcy. So she's continuing to have this conversation about filing for bankruptcy, but she still has not talked to her husband about this at all. All right. And as fast forward to today, she has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, where she's going to reorganize her business. Again, remember, because some people are just catching this today and you haven't watched all our reports on Pinky and what's been going on, is the fact that she claims that her CFO took money. We had someone weigh in or call in, was it last week, saying that also the person that was handling payroll refused to turn over her payroll to her. So that's probably part of the reason. I'm saying probably because we don't know for a fact. Probably part of the reason why certain people are suing her, because they didn't get paid, because this person that was supposed to be managing the payroll wasn't paying the people. It should be noted, though, when you have such a large business, it's not Pinky behind the scenes at home paying the people. You hire people to do those things. And if they don't do those things, it falls on you, of course. So that might be part of the reason. Again, that would be a great question to be asked anytime she's being interviewed or when the reunion comes around. All right, so she talked about filing for bankruptcy. This is a really cool moment because we're seeing two restaurateurs talk about the business, and Kelly reveals that she's also considering filing for bankruptcy because she also personally guaranteed some elements of her business, and she was going through the divorce. She claims that her husband took money from their accounts. You already know what's been going on with Kelly and her ex-husband. So she talks about that. And she also says, look, Abraham Lincoln filed for bankruptcy 3 times. I was like, really? The president, how many times did he file for bankruptcy? The current president? Is it a thing with the presidencies? So she says, just call me Kelly Lincoln. Okay, so Kelly hasn't yet filed for bankruptcy, right? Because I don't remember that report. But okay. Desiree says, I liked you, but I didn't miss her. Oh, damn. I think that's the same. I thought that's how I feel too. I think I like Drew on the show, but I didn't miss her this week either. Okay. All right. So Kelly says that Pinky better let Derek know what's going on with her because she reveals that she still has not told her husband about filing for bankruptcy. And mind you, at this particular point, she didn't file yet though. So I know last week I was coming down hard on Pinky in regards to not telling her husband and telling everybody else. But at this particular point, she hadn't filed yet. You know what I mean? So for me, that is a difference. Because you better tell me as my partner that you are filing, that you filed, or that you're about to file. But if she hasn't filed yet and she's just having the conversations about it, then I'm like, okay, I'm not that mad at you. Look, I'm not that mad, but she should have told him before she told anyone else. Do I think she told him before they actually filmed? Yes. I do believe that she told him before they filmed that scene at the end. I do. All right, moving on. Kelly says, you better let that $100 million man help you. So I didn't know, because we've talked about Dave's cheesecakes before during our recaps, because we didn't know about his business. But it's a very viable business, and apparently it's worth $100 million. Remember, Slutty Vegan, too, was valued at one particular point $100 million, too. So that just keep that in mind. I'm not saying you need to feel differently, but I just need you to know all the information about these people that we're talking about. At one particular point, Slutty Vegan also was valued at $100 million business. So apparently, her husband also has a very thriving business, still thriving business. But again, you have the wrong people managing your money and things like that, that can change your whole situation. So Kelly, you better let that $100 million man help you. Pinky says, then they start talking about the rumor that apparently Phaedra said that Pinky eats meat. And she's been eating meat. Pinky says the only meat that she eats is her husband's. Okay. Did I say cheesecakes? Lottie says Philly steaks, Kempire, not cheesecake. Maybe I'm thinking about cheesecake because I love a cheesecake. Cheese steaks. Here we go. All right. Lord. Ooh, KJ says I just had a cheesesteak last night for dinner. I didn't have any cheesesteak when I went to Philly. I should have, though. And I've been to Philly twice for our live shows. But I had some good food. Philly does have some really good food. Really has some good food. All right. Moving on. So Kelly says, she says that she saw. Okay, so there's this flashback because Pinky brings up the fact that Phaedra told Shamia that she eats meat. And she says, I don't eat meat. I'm on the board of PETA. And Kelly, when they flash back, because first of all, in the moment, Kelly is acting like, oh my gosh, she said you eat meat? Only for there to be a flashback where Kelly says that she saw Pinky eating a steak. What? Y'all, that's when I was like, wait a minute. Is there some truth to this possibly? But then we have to remember, Kelly is good friends with Shamia. That's her bestie Westie. So now I'm like, is this just you leaning in? Or is this just you being a Pisces and lying? Ooh. I don't know. But she literally said in that flashback, she saw Pinky eating a steak. When? Where? Who? What? Where? And look, I usually don't defend Phaedra, but when they flash back to what Phaedra said that she used to own a Jamaican restaurant where they served meat. There are plenty of people. First of all, she's married to a meat eater. It wouldn't shock me that she would be, or in the past, own a meat business. She used to eat meat almost 20 years ago, she says. But for Kelly to say that she saw Pinky eating a steak, I said, for a second there, I was like, wait a minute. Did she really see her eating a steak? Because she saw her really eating a steak. Even though there are some vegan dishes, if you go to a vegan restaurant, that look like meat. Kurt says, Kempire, why are you always knocking us Pisces? Because y'all keep proving my point. That's why. Y'all keep proving my point. Because now I need Kelly to prove, when exactly did you see Pinky eating a steak? Dude C says, who said that moment? Okay. T says, oh, hold on. Damn, T, your comments are moving. Wait, where's T's comment? T says, thank you for remembering, T. T says, Pinky owning a Jamaican restaurant was no secret. That's how I got introduced to Pinky Cole. And again, Phaedra said that innocently. I don't feel like Phaedra, there's no audio of Phaedra saying that Pinky eats meat. Maybe it was the way Phaedra said it. She used to own a meat-eating business. And Shamesi ran with that. Shamesi, oh my God. I thought that maybe there was a small tinge of hope for you this season. Every single week, I'm like, I'm losing any tinge of hope. But I already told y'all she shouldn't come back. I said that cringe factor from Shamia was not going to change. And look, I'm right again. And I hate it. I hate that for my Taurus sister. But she can't help it. She can't help it. She can't help but be cringy to the point where even Gerald looks like he's annoyed with her. And I don't jump on the bandwagon because sometimes when you see these husbands on Real Housewives, people automatically think that the husband hates the wife or something like that. I didn't feel that way about Gerald. I just thought Gerald did not like to be on camera. He didn't want to be a part of this mess. It's probably a very similar situation to the rum bum, where she was advised by Gerald, you shouldn't do this, and she does it anyway. So maybe he was like, I don't think you should do reality television, and she did it anyway. He looked like he did not want to be there to film this scene. So let's just jump into this scene. So Shamia's at home in her beautiful home, Sterling Hall, and she's in her closet with her beautiful daughter. I love her daughter. Was it Shyla? Love her. She's so adorable. So she's running around the room playing and things like that. And Shamia is getting dressed. She's picking out outfits for this Dallas trip. Cynthia, girl, you got it good. I told y'all, don't y'all see how production and the network are really propping Cynthia up, even though she's a friend of the show? Whatever Cynthia negotiated, good for you, girl. I'm sure she's getting probably one of the highest paid friend ofs. Cynthia's doing the work, unlike Dolores on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I'm sorry, Dolores. I think you're probably a very lovely woman, but you bring nothing to Rhode Island. Cynthia's hosting Cynthia got multiple businesses. Cynthia says, if I'm going to be on this show, can I host the next trip? And I'm going to promote my tequila brand? Smart. Go ahead. That's probably the only Pisces I'm rooting for. The only Pisces person I'm rooting for right now. Okay, no, K. Michelle too. I'm rooting for K. Michelle a little bit. K. Michelle was the country album. The country album better come out by the end of the season. Kurt says, Kempire, I almost fell off my chair when I saw Shamia had a stylist. Here's the thing. Shamia has always had a stylist because Shamia also used Dr. Wendy Acefo as a stylist. Remember her reunion look, which was perfection? She does use a stylist here and there. Look, here and there. Oh, Lord. All right. I did, Bree. Bree says, did you see Shamia's commercial for air freshener last night, Kemp? I did. Well, good for her. Anyway, she's trying to make her money. All right. Gus says, leave us Pisces alone. Boy, Pisces going to be falling out during this recap. Exactly. Andre says that Cynthia is earning her friend money. This Real Housewives of Atlanta is Porsha Williams' franchise. All right, but that's the thing. Cynthia is getting her bags in so many places. She's got the skincare going on. She still has the bag stuff and the hat stuff she's got going on. She's got her podcast. Now she's going next week going to have her tequila brand featured on this show that's going to get millions of viewers. You can't be mad at that. Good for Cynthia. Cynthia's got a bunch of businesses right now. She's got a line with Porsha's wigs. She's got a line with Giovanni in suits. I can't be mad at it. She's throwing, very much like what Pinky said on Watch What Happens, like she's throwing the mud at the wall and seeing what sticks. Good for you. All right? All right. Here go Jocelyn Lee. Jocelyn says we are made. Jocelyn, you're the only one I like, too. Oh. No, it's Pisces women. Pisces women are fine. Pisces men, shaky. All right. Okay, calm down. Let's not get sidetracked again. T says I'm proud of 50 Cent. Me too. All right, back to this. So Cynthia is planning this launch party for her tequila in Dallas, and that's going to be the girls' trip that we're going to see next week. So this week did really feel like a filler episode. So Shamia asked Gerald if he's going to miss her. And it's giving very much Angela. You gonna miss me? And Gerald's just like his face was just like flat. And this was like the first time I looked at Gerald, I'm like, wait, do you feel like we feel about your wife? Like she's a little cringy? A little too much sometimes? Because that's what it was giving. And then she says, oh, you can come on this trip. Oh, you know, there are other husbands that are going to be on the trip. And he's like, no, he's like, I'm going to let you handle that. Shamia should have kept this relationship off of reality television. Shamia should have just did not do reality television anymore. because it's not going to be favorable for your relationship. Now everybody has opinions because I know people get mad about people having opinions about these relationships. You came on a reality show. We are going to have our opinions based off of an edited reality show. And this week's episode, I was like, wait a minute. Coco says, I think that's cultural. I don't know if it's cultural. Look, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. But at the same time, I was like, because this was probably, and unless they had an argument right before this scene. Exactly. Jasmine says he looks so unimpressed. At first, I was giving him, like, he doesn't like reality television. He's more reserved. It's cultural. In this particular scene this week, I was like, I don't think he likes her. I don't think he likes her. I think he feels like how we feel. Maybe. The K Perspective says, to me, it just seemed Gerald had a lot on his mind. Right after that, he mentioned the legal situation. That was the thing. He then brings up the Sergey situation and what's going on with that. So he's, I want to give you an update on the Sergey situation. Remember, a lot of people were upset with Gerald because it feels like he wasn't prioritizing Shamia's health when it comes to this baby situation. That seems to be his priority, is getting another baby, getting this boy. So they decided to move on with a different surrogate because the other surrogate, the transfer did not happen. And so they're like, let's try a different surrogate. So now they have to go through that whole process again. Okay. So Shamia then says, we haven't discussed, though, the alternatives. Adoption, or am I going to do IVF again? Or are we going to do a donor egg? She said they have not discussed those other things yet. I'm like, okay, all right. Tufoxy says, Gerald is an African man who wants his boy. That's the vibe that I was getting. But his boy at the cost of his wife's health at this particular point? Because this is their last boy embryo that they have. And if it doesn't work, and if he wants to try again, that means she has to do that whole IVF portion, meaning like she has to be taking shots in order to, even if she's not going to carry the baby, she still has to be able to help produce these eggs. So then are we going to use a donor egg? And if we're talking traditional, he's probably not going to want to use a donor egg. Lord have mercy. So it seemed like he was uninterested in participating in the conversation she wanted to have. Wanted to have. He was more interested in having this conversation about the surrogate because that's his priority. Okay. All right, Gerald. Shamia, get off this show. If you value your relationship, Shamia, and I think you do, get off this show. But I already told you, I felt like if she wants to come back, this is just Shamia wanting to be famous. Girl, if this is what you prioritize, fine. Toya says, let's pray it works. And I hope it works for them. Honestly, I really do. Mary says, all for a boy, rolling eyes. But it doesn't appear to me that Shamia doesn't want children too. If I got that vibe, like she didn't want to do that. But she also says they haven't discussed alternatives if this particular one does not take, because this is their last boy embryo. All right, Shamia. I got concerns, but Gerald, I'm gonna keep an open mind. Guys, you're just joining us. Don't forget to like today's video. All right, it's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Today's brought to you by our friends over at Hulu. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud. And revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. And we're back. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Thank you already for 530 likes. We appreciate your support. Speaking of support, thank you so much for the super chat, Tyrese, and for being a member. Let me shimmy for the $20, Tyrese. Tyrese says, hey, Kemp, I'm at work event. Oh, I'm at a work event right now, but I wanted to let you know that there will be a debate for District 13 tonight. Thank you, Tyrese. I need to set my reminders. Tonight, she says, I wanted to let you know there will be a debate tonight for District 13 tonight on Atlanta Press Club's YouTube channel at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, I'm assuming because it's Atlanta. By the way, the incumbent, David Scott, passed away last week. Yeah, we talked briefly about it. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or if it was on TikTok or something like that. But yeah, I saw that the incumbent had passed away. But look, Tyrese, where is Heavenly when it comes to the polls in regards to the primary? Just asking. And the primary's in June, right? She wasn't the front runner the last time we checked. I don't think she was even the second runner. Lord have mercy. All right. Thank you, Tyrese. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for that information. So 5:45 tonight, y'all. It will be on the Atlanta Press Club YouTube channel at 5:45 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Amani says these IVF surrogacy stories are so tired. Here's the thing. This is a real part of life. People are going through these things. But I know for us that watch Real Housewives, it does feel like, oh my God, here we go. It was on Married to Medicine. It's on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's on Atlanta. I know it does feel like we're being bombarded with the same thing over and over again. But this is a real thing that people are going through. And it does lead to other conversations like adoption. I told you I wish every time we talk about surrogacy and things like that and IVF that we talk about also the option of adoption. There are plenty of children of color, Black children that need homes. Just saying. Brandy, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Brandy says, wasn't Dame Dash trying to buy one of Pinky's New York City locations on Next Gen NYC and trying to convince his daughter to manage it? Yeah, I can't remember the details, but I think you're right. Yes, he was, right? That never happened, though, right? I don't think that ever happened. Cece, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Cece says, good morning, handsome. Thank you. Kelly was fake as... Kelly was fake. Oh, wait, fake as hell in that scene with Pinky. This is why people don't like her, A. Oh, and Madam Cringe striked again. There's a couple of them that are a little cringy to me. Not just Shamia. Kelly can be a little cringy. But Pinky can be a little cringy, too. Anyone else knows that? Some things that Pinky does that makes me go, look, I get a little bit of the ick. That's me. Okay, hold on. Yamola says, just flew in from Cancun to Calgary in time for your review. Whew, I know that's right. Okay. You just came from the sun. I love that for you. All right, let me move on. Let's get to this next scene. Porsha, Phaedra, and Angela go for a workout. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. No, sorry. I almost skipped the scene. I almost skipped the whole scene, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. So Porsha is at home and Mike comes over. And I was like, oh, wait, Mike makes another appearance this season? Because I thought she was done with Mike after we saw Shay. But Porsha's storyline this season is that she's dating. I will say this. Watching Porsha's scenes this season has given... for me, just like she's rehearsing. And I can't forget what her best friend, her ex-best friend said about her. I wish we could be ourselves. I wish you would be more of yourselves. And you said that they would have to pay you more to see that side of Porsha. And I was just like, so what are we getting? A rehearsed version of Porsha? I don't believe this relationship with Mike. I don't know if I believe this relationship with Shay. Obviously, if you fast forward time, that she's spending more and more of her time with Shay. And is it Shay or Sway? I keep saying Shay. It's Sway, right? Oh, it's Sway. She's spending more of her time with Sway and saying, I love you on social media. But we know how Porsha is wishy-washy with all that, okay? Okay. Wishy-washy with that. But okay, she's in love finally again. All right? Kai says, Sway Kempire, not Shay. I don't know. I keep messing it up this way. Anyway, I mean, I will learn Sway's name when Portia's with her for 2 years because I can't keep up. Anyway, so we have this week, Sway is not being paid. It's Mike that's being paid. Everyone roll out Mike. So Mike shows up at the door looking like he jumped out of a Drew Hill music video. He's cute. Look, Mike is cute, all right? But I have to say, their interactions give me not familiar, not really into each other like that. And not to say that they wouldn't be into each other. Both good-looking people. Portia's a beautiful woman. He's a good-looking guy. Why wouldn't they be into each other? Well, they're not very good actors. I've seen his acting on social media. We've seen Portia's acting on Lifetime. That's what it's giving in this moment. It's giving performance and not real. So Mike sent Porsha these roses. I don't know if I believe Mike sent her these roses. It didn't say Mike at the bottom. It just says, I want you. Okay. All right, fine. Everything about Porsha this episode was giving very rehearsed. Even that situation with Dennis. But we will get there. Mike apparently is coming on this Dallas trip. Because I guess it's supposed to be like a couples trip. So she roll out Mike for the couples trip. Honestly, I prefer, no shade, Mike, but what we saw of Sway, I prefer Sway. I'd rather see Sway come on this couple's trip than Mike, because I just don't feel like Mike's going to bring it. I don't feel like he's a good enough actor, okay? And maybe because Sway really is into Porsha is why it's a little bit more believable. Honestly, Sway's a little bit more gentlemanly than, Sway's a little bit more gentlemanly than Mike. But Mike sent these roses, allegedly. Mike sent these roses to Porsha, and the message says, I want you. There was no Mike under it. I think because there was no Mike under it was because production sent her the roses, and like, this is going to be your scene. Okay, or maybe Porsha sent herself the roses and said, this is going to be my scene. I don't know if it's Sway's available this week, and I don't know if Mike's available this week, so we'll just keep it as I want you. That's how I feel. Okay. So he apparently sent these roses. The roses were beautiful. They'll be dead in 2 weeks. Okay. Just saying. All right. So anyway, Mike's going to come on this trip. Porsha then talks about listing her home. Because remember, that was a story that came out while they were filming, was that Porsha put her Duluth home, the one that she bought right after her divorce from Cordell, and then she put her mom in it. And I told you, there's a reason why she's putting her mom in it. Okay? So where is her mom going to live now? Is her mom now currently living with her? Where is Mama Diane? Where is Miss Diane living now if you're kicking her out of your house? And look, Porsha says that she's selling her house, and everyone's saying that she's selling her house because she can't afford the current house she has now. The way Porsha can never really articulate herself really well, because I don't understand what she's saying in this particular moment. She claims that this current house that she's in is where she gets the money she put out back. And I was like, what money did you put into this house? Because let's remember the facts here. She got this house in her divorce. She didn't buy this house. Simon bought this house, according to the court docs. So she says that's why she's investing in this house. But she says the other house, and they flash back to when she bought this house, the Duluth home, and she says now it has $1 million in equity. Okay. Wait, if Keith says Miss Diane's in the bedroom eating pizza. Pizza sounds good right about now. But anyway, let me focus. Taurus season. I could go for some pepperoni pizza. So she says that the Duluth home has $1 million in equity in it. I was like, all right. If you're going to sell something, if you can get $1 million out of it, why not? So that's what she said. That's why she's selling this other home. But my concern is like, where your mama going to be? Or where's that element? Can someone ask her that? Is that going to come up during the reunion? Because we didn't see Mama Diane in this mansion. And this house is beautiful. We got to see a little bit more of this house in this episode of Porsha's house that Simon bought. And look, I am not Team Simon on this, because at the end of the day, Simon, you signed off on this when it comes to the prenup. So Porsha won. Porsha, she scammed the scammer, allegedly. Okay? I'm not mad about it. You signed off on this in the prenup, Simon. Simon, go by there. You signed off on it. Toya says she can buy her mom a smaller home. I thought that's what she would say, or maybe her mom is going into maybe an apartment, because she's also older too. LaPrice says, or is it LaPrice? Says 1 million before or after taxes. I'm thinking before taxes. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So she says it has $1 million in equity, this other home. And that's why she's deciding to sell it. Here's the thing, y'all. So she starts getting emotional, talking about her divorce and things like that. If you are dating and you're lightly dating, you're dating multiple people, are you sharing this much very early on? Because mind you, this is only a couple of weeks of dating Mike. Are you getting this vulnerable in front of someone, talking about your divorce, talking about you're selling your home? It's giving scheme that Porsha set up to have this storyline. Mike understands the assignment. He's a paid actor. He's done acting before. He's come in to be like, this is your moment to listen. Look, listen to what's going on with me. It felt like for someone that is just starting to date, are you really... Look, people do share sometimes too much on first dates or someone that you're dating. But it just stood out to me, especially her being a Cancer. Cancers are not that open. Unless this is a scheme that Porsha set up. This is her storyline. Mike is brand new. Mike is coming over and he's hearing about your divorce. He's hearing about what you're going through and how much equity you have in another home. Does Mike have that? I don't know. I just feel like that was a little too much vulnerability in this moment. But okay. For someone that you just started dating. But all right. Then I will say this. Shout out to production. Because I like what y'all did here. Because we've been saying y'all need to bring back in the moment confessionals. Very much like on Ultimate Girls Trip. And we got a little bit of a glimpse of that. Of Porsha in this moment. Reflecting on Mike and her thoughts on Mike and what's going on Mike. So she's in her closet talking about this moment. Like in the moment confessional. And I was like, we need more of that. And remember they used to have that. In like the early years, I don't remember if it was Atlanta or other cities, but we used to get some in the moment confessionals. And I would like to see a little bit, I'd like to see more of that. Anyone else? I thought that I could care less what Porsha was saying in this particular moment, but I was like, wait a minute. I want to see a little bit more of this. All right. So she reflects on, she says, oh, Porsha does say, despite what people believe, she plans out her life. Oh, we know, Porsha. You got scammed by Cordell. Scammed is probably not the best word. Look, I retract that on the record. You did not end well with Cordell, and you did not end with a lot in that divorce. So you said that's never going to happen to me. I don't believe that you don't plan out your life. I do think that you are a planner. Your plans might be very different than what other people would do. Work hard and build for yourself. Your planning is a little different, but you are a planner. I do believe that you are a planner. Okay? So she said, I plan out my life. Anyway, so she has this in the moment confessional, which I love. I want to see more of that this season if we can, if that's even there. Mike and Porsha then start talking about kids. Because apparently he said that he wants to have 3 kids. And I'm not sure if Porsha has said that she wants to have more children, but Porsha is 40-something years old. Next season, are we going to be talking about IVF journey with Porsha? But she said that's the thing for her right now because he's talking about he wants 3 kids. And she's like, I don't know if I can give you 3 kids. And for Mike, it seems not having kids would be a deal breaker. Yeah, Mike doesn't have children? And how old is Mike? Do we know how old Mike is? I'm assuming Mike is probably around Porsha's age. He doesn't have any kids? Yeah, he's going to want some kids. But again, I don't believe that this is a real relationship. All right, Tanya says a plan to scam. All right. Amy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Amy says Mike had the same issue on Ready to Love with Shay, and they broke up after the season. I guess Porsha used the same storyline. Oh, about the baby stuff? Oh. Your Finance Auntie, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Your Finance Auntie says, Peach Juice and this 2B storyline is annoying. All right, so I'm not the only one that feels like this is just a rehearsed situation because even them in this moment doesn't feel authentic. It feels, even when she first sees him and she hugs him and kisses him on the mouth, it doesn't feel real. This feels awkward. I felt more chemistry between her and Dennis. And I know they were together before and they were engaged and then they have a kid together. But I felt more realness between them. However, I have more thoughts. He's 47. He looks good for 47. Aisha says, "Stop, Kempire. This is not real." I'm trying, y'all. We are recapping what they're giving us. I'm not saying I believe it, but I am recapping what they're giving us. All right. Okay. Oh, Cece says, "We don't need Mike Sage. Just his SAG card expiration date." Oh, not his SAG card expiration date. Oh, Lord. Exactly. Miss B. Wood says she'll do a fake breakup after. Wait, Falaf? All right. It feels forced, Ariel says. Yeah. Oh, after Dallas. Miss B. Wood said, "Oh, fake breakup after Dallas." She's going to give us some sort of fake breakup during this season because she is going to be dating Sway. All right.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
When Mother's Day means celebrating your mom, your wife, maybe even your daughter as a new mom, trust 1-800-Flowers to help you celebrate every important woman in your life. With double blooms from 1-800-Flowers, order 1 dozen roses and get another dozen for free. It's a simple way to give beautifully, with colorful blooms that make Mother's Day feel meaningful. For every mom you're celebrating, order with confidence and get double blooms at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Millie says heavy on what they're giving us. Exactly. All right. Guys, we're almost at 700 likes, but we have 1,800 people watching on multiple platforms. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch and on Twitter. What's going on Twitter? Let me see. Is Twitter saying anything? Shout out to everyone watching on Twitter. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Taurus season. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Let me get back to my notes because I still have a lot more to talk about. And I will be dropping the call link first for members on the community tab. Actually, let me do that now before I forget. Let me do that now. And as I'm doing that, guys, don't forget to like today's video. I will drop the call link for the general audience once we get to a certain amount of likes. Mods, let me know how many likes we should get to before I drop the call in link. If you're a Royal Court member or Senior Royal, I'll drop the call link for you guys first, so you have first dibs. It's not part of a membership, but we make it a cool perk. A cool perk of being a member of the channel, okay? And if you want to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right, so Royal Court members, we just dropped the call link for you. Team Kempire members, we'll drop the call link for you guys in a moment. All right. So back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's move on to this next scene. Porsha, Phaedra, and Angela go for this bike workout. Charles opens the door for his lady and sees Phaedra. "Do I know you?" And they flash back to the reunion where Charles really stood out in regards to, just because we're in rooms together doesn't mean that I know you, doesn't mean that we met. So Phaedra says that Charles might be the real godfather. The confessional, when they flashed to that confessional, that was actually pretty funny because she was just like, "I'm going to keep my family and he's going to keep his family and everybody lives." And then they play like some mafia music and she just makes a face. That's the thing with Phaedra. Phaedra is she is a caricature of herself. I appreciate the funny. If anything, some of the funniest moments were from Phaedra this week, but she's never going to give us anything authentic or real. The realest thing that we're going to get is her sons. We haven't seen Dylan this season. We've seen a lot of Aiden this season. Where's Dylan? All right. So I thought that was a funny moment. Phaedra said that she doesn't want to date anyone in fitness anymore because she dated Apollo. She says her ex was in fitness. I was so confused last night. I was like, I know Apollo liked to work out. I know he was a part of the donkey booty stuff. But I was like, was he in fitness? I thought he was in securities. Other people's social securities. Am I wrong? I know we recapped season 6 not too long ago. And I just felt like he wasn't doing fitness at that particular time. I know in season 5, that's when they did the donkey booty video, right? Is that when they donkey booty video? No, that wasn't when they did the donkey booty video. So I don't know. Like, we know Apollo has a nice body. I didn't know he was in fitness. I thought he was in securities. your social security. Your social securities, okay? That's what I thought Apollo was in, all right? Anyway. So Phaedra says her next man can be a little chubby and a little fine. All right. So what's going on with you in Chi-Chi? Chi-Chi's fit. What does Chi-Chi do for work? She says Chi-Chi's not serious because I know the Phaedra stands will be like, she said that her and Chi-Chi are not serious. Okay, so when she's out there with the real blondes that he likes, we don't say nothing because they're dating. Okay. All right. Moving on. So Angela says that she hasn't forgotten, because I know a lot of people are looking at Angela. Oh, you and Phaedra are now buddy. And Angela says, I have not forgotten what happened last year between her and Phaedra and Porsha and the whole, that guy that came on last season. See, this is why I don't like the fact that you even gave him a platform last season, Angela, because you see how many times they've replayed this scene just this season alone about Phaedra being the godfather. I was like, this is why you don't bring these people that are thirsty to be on reality television, because now they have a life. I'm sure he's very happy right now. Look, you guys see me again. I'm on season 17. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. Angela says that she hasn't forgotten about what happened last year. Okay. So for those that may have been worried. Okay. So, Porsha tells Phaedra about what Pinky was telling the group, that Phaedra was going around telling people that she eats meat. And Angela says that Shamia said that Phaedra claimed that Pinky had a rib joint. So they flash back to what Phaedra actually said. And we see the root of the problem was Shamia. Shamia is the one telling different stories. All right. So Phaedra says that Pinky, first of all, Angela believes that Phaedra said it, because she says Phaedra has this thing about her that she forgets what she said. But this is the one time I'm going to be like, well, no, Phaedra is just, this is the one time that Phaedra wasn't lying. Conveniently. So Phaedra says that Pinky has bigger issues to think about, especially with everything that's going on in the news. Even with the events happening, she's like, isn't that place in bankruptcy? She says the Hamburglar has bigger fish to fry at this particular moment. So she refers to Pinky as a Hamburglar, which is hilarious. So then Phaedra talks about all the things that they're supposed to be bringing to this foundation event. And she's like, I've spent like $4,000 in formula. And you're like, formula is that expensive? Well, she was specific. You need to bring vegan formula. All right. So Porsha says she's overwhelmed by all the things that Pinky has told her to bring. She's book bags, crayons, this and this. Porsha, she only told you to bring book bags and some kids stuff. Things that you would put in a kid's bag. You have a kid, so you know what to put in a kid's bag. It seems very straightforward. But she's like, I'm going to just give her my Amazon account so she can just order the stuff herself. At one particular point, Phaedra was like, I might just think, should I even go to this event? Maybe I should just give her a blank check. And they're like, oh, you giving out blank checks? I'll take a blank check. I ain't taking a blank check from Phaedra. Taking a blank check from Phaedra. Phaedra. All right, so then we move on to this scene with Angela having a Fangie, like a Fangie meeting. So she's developing a fan line, and she says her budget's going to be $30,000 for the product and maybe $10,000 to $15,000 on marketing. She says that they should recoup all of their money from the first rollout. Just from the fans, like literal fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I could see her selling out and doing very well with this business. I actually think it's a smart business, to be honest with you, especially with the kind of platform that she's on. But the fans like a little something tangible. Don't be surprised at BravoCon, you're going to see a bunch of them. And then she'll probably have a booth and things like that next year at BravoCon. I think this is a quick payday for her, okay? Toya says a blank check to someone else's account. Oh, Missy says her check was good for Married to Met Gala. It had to be. Can you imagine if it bounced? My goodness. All right. Let me see. I'm not saying that she had money issues, y'all. I don't know if I'd be taking a blank check from Phaedra for a variety of different reasons. I didn't say she didn't have it. Calm down. Not the ooh fans in the chat. Calm down. And also, y'all can't take a joke too. Calm down. We haven't heard Phaedra filing for bankruptcy or issues like that. Can't we just make a joke? Some of y'all get a little too serious and literal in the chat. calm down. I know it's Monday. Calm down. It's a joke. Ha. Lord have mercy. Y'all take everything for literal. Let me see. Thank you so much, Nat the MD. Thank you so much for the super chat. Nat says, previously future MD. Hey, Nat. Hi, Kempire. Yes, as a Cancer, we are very private. Also, the color looks great. Oh, thank you. Banana. Shout out to Banana Republic. Brought to you by Banana. We're trying to co-create a sponsorship and a whole ad campaign. Come on now. This is Banana. I was at Banana yesterday. I need to know. I got some cute stuff though from Banana. I'm gonna do a video of my unboxing, my haul, my fashion haul for Banana. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, so Nat. So wait a sec. So Nat, did you graduate? I need an update. You don't have to send a super chat. Did you update? Did you graduate? Congratulations. If it's future MD now, Nat the MD, I'm assuming you graduated. Wow. Now we got a DR period in the chat. Shout out to you. A beautiful DR period. I've met Nat. All right. Now it's 2:39 a.m. in Australia. What are you doing up? But I appreciate you being up and chatting with us. Ateka says Phaedra fans were so sensitive. Apparently. Like they can't look, you can't laugh? Aha. CC says Manic Monday. Guys, you're almost at 800 likes. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Angela is starting her business. This was such a non-scene for me, but I was like, you know what? Fine. They have to have scenes. They have to have their storyline. So Angela talks about investing and not taking the advice of people that were telling her you shouldn't invest in these real estate places, this particular real estate. So she said now she's going to listen to the people when it comes to this investment. And she said she's going to ask Charles for half of the $50,000 that she needs for this business. And she's quite as contrary to popular belief, Charles shows up for her. And we said that last season, though. Okay? We said last season that people want to say that Charles doesn't like Angela, but what we've noticed from his actions that he does show up for her. He's filming with her. He seems engaged when he's filming with her. It may not be the engagement we want, but he does show up for her. Okay? Tiara says the fan thing sounds silly, but it's perfect for Housewives. For me, it's like a quick buck for her. Is it a long-term business? Not really. I do have from Shark. I got my own little Fangela here, but it's not Fangela. I got my own little Shark fan thing I will be using during the summer. Just saying. Toya says, I'm sure Charles is tired of all her business ideas. Charles shows up for her to film, though, and he seems engaged in a way that is Charles. Okay, so you understand what I'm like? When you compare Charles versus Gerald's engagement, it's very similar, but that's engagement for Charles. Don't expect Charles to be over the top. Look, 5 Wisdom says better than Gerald. Okay. Ziza says, I'll be replaying this on the car ride home. And I love that for you. Ziza. All right. Let me move on. Okay. So let's move on from this scene because I feel like I waste too much time on certain scenes that don't need it. Sorry, Fangela. Sorry. So Porsha and Phaedra are pre-gaming at her home, which I'm not mad about. Her pre-gaming at home. Because they're going to Slutty Vegan. They're like, I don't know if I'm going to like those burgers. I don't know if I'm going to like that food. So they're pre-gaming. So they having shrimp and things like that. Honestly, you go there fed. That way you're not going to talk about people in their business like, oh, there was no food that I wanted to eat. No, we're going to go there fed. All right? And Porsha looked well fed. That donkey booty. Lord have mercy. Okay? Phaedra says that she thinks that it's weird that Pinky is going around talking to everyone else about her allegedly saying that she ate meat. She's like, why not just call me? Which I have to agree with Phaedra. Why didn't you just call her? Like, you're talking about me to everybody else saying that you eat meat, and you haven't even confronted me or said anything about it. So Aiden comes in. Aiden's just grown. Did y'all see how Aiden was looking at Porsha? I was like, look, he's a boy. So Porsha's, oh my God, I haven't seen you. Oh my. These little moments, if you're paying attention, stand out to me because I was like, if this was really frickin' frack, if they were really friends, you would have seen this boy over the years. You have not seen this boy since the last time we saw this boy. Okay? So I haven't seen you. Did y'all notice how when she hugged him, she left makeup on his shirt? I was like, damn. That happened to me before. You know who you are. Happened at BravoCon. Remember, Taria? Got makeup on my Banana Republic shirt at the time. And honestly, I had to get rid of the shirt because I was like, I can't even use the shirt anymore. I don't know what kind of makeup this lady was using. It would not come out. Ruined my outfit for BravoCon. I was trying to look cute. All right. Moving on. Okay. So Aiden's, I'm going to think, what are you up to? Like, I'm going to probably go take a nap. And she's like, you could take a nap in your black mama's house? Phaedra had me laughing when Phaedra said, sometimes you got to keep fearing them. So randomly, I'll punch him. I was like, not randomly, I'll punch him. I thought that was hilarious. That made me laugh. So Aiden goes to go take his nap. They said that this is where they revealed that Pinky's event's going to be at the place that she's being sued for the $87,000 in back rent. Phaedra said that it was the bankruptcy, but at this particular point, Pinky hasn't filed for bankruptcy. Let's get to Pinky's foundation event. So Pinky's foundation event, K. Michelle shows up. K. Michelle, although she's going through stuff, I'm going to get dressed up and look good. Pinky says that she isn't planning this give back because of her recent lawsuit. Okay, a lot of people are like, you're going to have this give back and you just were in the newspaper. Is this a distraction? And Pinky, I do this. I've always done this. I've been doing this for a very long time. She set up her foundation back in 2019, so I believe that. So Drew isn't in this episode at all. So for those that may have missed it, we don't see Drew at all in this week's episode. Okay? She didn't come to the event because she apparently had a respiratory infection. All right. Pinky's husband, Derek, was there helping her set up, but then he has to leave early because apparently he must have had some sort of business dinner that night. And he's have to go home and change. And she's, you can't stay and spend 45 minutes from my event. My thing is, girl, if you have money problems and he got a business event, you better go let him go handle that business event. But maybe she knows more than we know in regards to the time. Like, we have no idea. What time is the dinner? What time is at this particular point? But then Atlanta traffic, I don't know. All right. So at this particular point in the confessional, the producer asks Pinky, have you told Derek about the bankruptcy yet? And she's, is that a trick question? Why would she think that was a trick question? Then I thought to myself, is it because they're filming the confessional months later after she's filed the bankruptcy? No, because at this particular point, during the confessional, she hasn't filed for the bankruptcy. Because remember, we found out when she filed for the bankruptcy. It was after filming had wrapped. So, is that a trick question? Why would that be a trick question? Exactly. Lankita says a $10 million event. That's what he had to go attend about. It was like a business dinner. And y'all need the money right now, okay? Look, y'all need the money right now. All right. Moving on. Okay, what else happened at this event? Excuse me, not be yawning. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, wait. Guys, don't forget, today's brought to you by our friends over at Factor Meals 2. Shout out to Factor. Okay, I get it. It's not a new year, but it can still be a new you. As we've partnered with Factor many times, and this is no different. But let me paint a picture for you. Hunger strikes, and you're exhausted. I know it, especially on a busy day. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be making, but you don't have it in you. Relatable, right? For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem until I found Factor. As I have a busy schedule, sometimes there's breaking news and I do not have the time in me to cook that meal or prepare for that meal. With Factor, I'm hitting my nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. What I also love about Factor is that you're getting great quality meals, dietitian approved meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. As I've mentioned many times before, Factor meals are crafted with functional ingredients from lean proteins, colorful veggie, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors, no sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, and no refined seed oils. And most importantly, convenience. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door so you have more time for everything you love this spring. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50 off and use code Kempire50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. More details on Factor and your discounts will be available in the description. Thanks, Factor. And we're back. So Dude C says, I'm making you yawn remotely. They say yawning is contagious. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring today's Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. So be sure to check out the description and get your discount. I could use a Factor meal. I need to send in for an order because sometimes, especially during the summer, with the summer months coming up, I just feel like I don't feel like cooking and stuff like that. It's just quick and easy. Anyway, y'all know Factor's been sponsoring over here for a very long time. It's been a couple of years that we've been partnering with Factor. All right. Let me get back to this Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, guys. Keep liking the video. We're almost at 1,000 likes. So be sure to like. We already have 2,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. So we appreciate you all being here. Shout out to our King's Guards for holding us down. Be sure to say thank you to our King's Guards in the building as well. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our members. Members, I have dropped the call-in link for all members right now. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience as well that want to share their thoughts on this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. Okay, Michelle is there. She sees Kelly, and she doesn't understand why Kelly, in the moment, didn't say something to Porsha when Porsha confronted her with her apparently sleeping with a married man. And she said, you know what? After the incident that she had with Porsha, which I still feel like it's a reach. Okay, Michelle, I do feel like it's a reach. But K. Michelle's like, I understand where Kelly's coming from because of how slick Porsha was with her shade towards K. Michelle. I don't think Porsha was coming for K. Michelle. I really don't think Porsha was coming for you, K. Michelle. I do think that this is a bit of a reach. I need you to let it go. She says that Porsha is slick with her shade. Is Porsha? I don't think you giving Porsha too much credit. I don't think Porsha is that slick. All right. Angela says, Kempire, you just reminded me that we didn't hear about it after the season, so I guess he didn't give her the $5 million. We're going to talk about that. Look, I'm not a financial expert, but I also feel like it wouldn't be in the best interest of both of them for him, especially if the government is going to approve a bankruptcy. I don't think it's, if you have $5 million that you could give her, you should hold on to your cash. And if the government's going to give you the Chapter 11, I'm like, I think you should do that so you can hold on to the $5 million in your household under his name. Just saying. They do have 3 young children. But that's me. I'm not a financial expert or a $1 million business, but look, I don't think you should. But we will get back to that in just a second. Porsha arrives. And as you know, the thing when you go to Slutty Vegan is that we got some sluts in the building. Porsha was like, what they say? We got some sluts in the building. She was like, they said what? Porsha was just like, hated it. We know you hated that, Porsha. Porsha does not like that. I think that's a trigger for Porsha. That's why Porsha's going to light Kelly up when it gets to this reunion. Kelly, I wish you luck. I hope, Kelly, you're able to handle yourself during this reunion. This reunion is going to be a very important reunion for you because I think if you do not show up, people are going to be like, Kelly can't come back. You better be able to handle yourself because even in this moment, Kelly is also sick. So Kelly and Porsha do not interact in this moment, and Kelly ends up leaving. But Porsha is just, I ignored her. I ignored her. But Kelly in her confessional, she was like, Porsha with a side of African, Porsha with a side of foo-foo. She has so much mouth in her confessional. And look, they all are confessional gangsters at some particular point. But for Atlanta, in the moment, you need to be able to, that should have been a moment for you guys to have a conversation or confront each other. I know it's a charitable event and Pinky doesn't want anything to go down like that, but this is the first time seeing each other. Why not have a conversation? Go outside and have the conversation. But y'all are going to completely ignore each other, but you're going to have all this mouth for her in the confessional. Kelly, these confessional looks just keep getting worse and worser. They just keep getting really bad. Like, what's going on? But Paris, her former stylist, is styling all the girls. Styling Cynthia, styling Porsha. Who else did he style? I don't remember who else Paris styled. But looking good. The girls are looking good. But for some reason, when Paris was styling you, it just didn't. I don't know. Damn. Oh, Kelly. Look, Kelly. Miss Alex is not worse though. Please, okay. Let me put the disclaimer. I know, no, I was being funny when I said worser because some people would be like, "It's not worser." We're being funny. Laugh. Aha! I know it's Monday. Damn. Exactly. Lankita says, even the producer was like, "Are you done, Kelly? Please." Lord have mercy. All right, let's move on. Let's move on from that. All right, so we meet some of the women. And look, I appreciate this moment, especially with Atlanta. We talk about all this drama and things like this was a really beautiful moment where the women are coming together, giving back. We're hearing some of the women's stories that are there. And we had someone that served in the military. We have another woman that's taken in a child. And Pinky, I want to help you. The other women here would like to help you as well. So I thought that was really an important moment. So it goes from that to Pinky talking about that she hasn't filed for bankruptcy, that she doesn't technically have to file for bankruptcy. She's doing it so that she can start off with a clean slate. Okay? Because she was like, oh, I can wipe. Pinky is very confident. Almost, I don't want to say too confident because I would never want people not to be confident. But she comes across sometimes boastful. And she's just, I could wipe my butt with $90,000, the amount of money that she's being sued for right now. And everyone's like, if you could wipe your butt with $90,000, I want you to just pay it. But she says she wants to start off because it's not just the $90,000. She's got a bunch of lawsuits that she's dealing with as well. Another reason why I'm like, no, I don't think she should just take this loan from her husband. Okay. So they end up talking about that. Then Pinky confronts Phaedra for the rumor that she eats meat. And Phaedra was like, I never said that you eat meat. I told Shamia that you used to have a Jamaican restaurant. Okay? And Shamia was like, that's what you did? In the moment, Shamia's like, that's what you said. In Shamia's confessional, she's, I could have sworn that's what she said. Shamia, you are falling flat. Here's the thing with Shamia this season. Not only is she falling flat during the season, she's falling flat in her confessionals and she's falling flat in these interviews. I saw that she was talking about Drew again in another interview this past week as well on Parade Magazine. And I was just like, I can't with Shamia. Like, I already knew Shamia was going to come back and fail us again. I wish she had known that. I warned her. I was like, I have a feeling like this is going to be not good for Shamia. I don't think Shamia should come back. If you're happy at home, you already been on the platform. You don't need to be here anymore. But I think she wants this fame. So Shamia, I could have sworn that's what she said. But in the moment, she stands on it. She's like, that's what you said. That's what you told me. And Phaedra was like, I never said that to you. And the proof is in the pudding. Phaedra never said that. She said that she owned a Jamaican restaurant that served meat. Which is true. If you know anything about Pinky, Pinky did own a Jamaican restaurant before. Did Pinky open up another restaurant with like Jamaican vegan food? Just asking. That would be a thing. Because I know there's places in New York where they serve like Jamaican vegan food. I haven't tried it yet. Eventually I will. Honestly, I really should be vegan. I'm not a big meat eater. Only time I really eat meat is at dinner. And it's only because I know I need the protein. I'm not a big meat eater like that. I don't love meat like that. Anyway, so let me see. So then it goes, this is where I feel like it was a reach. Because Shamia was like, why would I say something like that? And Phaedra was like, it's because you don't like me. And Shamia was like, I don't like you. Because Phaedra says that Shamia did this interview, and they flash back to this interview that Shamia did. And they asked her, who would you want as your children's godmother? Cynthia or Phaedra? And she was like, Cynthia, you can look at Noelle. Noelle grew up so really nicely, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. I'm going to twerk on the fence with this a little bit. I do feel like Phaedra is reaching here in regards to, you understand how these interviews go. you understand in that moment that she wasn't shading you or talking about your kids. However, I can see on the other side, like you could have said they're both great women, but if I had to choose someone, I probably would choose. I would choose Cynthia. Maybe because Cynthia has raised girls before and she has girls. There's a PC way of doing this and saying this in interviews so that other people do not get their feelings hurt. Maureen says, do you eat oxtail? I don't like oxtails. Oh, I know, blasphemy. I don't like oxtails. I will say this. This is why I say I could literally be at least vegetarian. I like oxtail, the flavor with the beans. What's the beans called? The white beans that they usually use. So I like that with some rice and stuff like that. That's just me. I've always been like that. And I know you, like, how are you Jamaican? I don't like seafood. I'll eat salmon. I don't mind salmon, but I have to be in the mood for salmon. Look, T says, you don't like oxtails? Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. Miss Alex says, Kempire, log off. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Should I turn my camera off? I was like, you don't like oxtails? I'm sorry. Everyone is losing their minds in the chat. You guys have been here some of y'all been here for 6 years. Y'all didn't know this already? And I get it. People love them some oxtails. I tell you, I'm from another planet. Yes, the butter beans, TDS. I love those. But yeah. Calm down. Calm down. Y'all real sensitive today. Natalie, thank you for the super chat. Natalie says, ham vegan restaurant in Brooklyn is good. The steak tastes so real. I'm going to try that, Natalie. I'm going to try that. I've been meaning to, because I feel like I really should become vegan. I really do think I should become vegan. My sister was vegan for a point in her life. My Jamaican sister was vegan for a moment. And I think she's not vegan anymore, but she might be pescatarian now. Okay. Y'all are losing your minds in the chat. Oh, Nanza says Kev should have kept that as a secret. No. Okay. Mother is watching we got a few people watching from Australia. It's really early in Australia. Wasn't it like 3 a.m. in Australia? Look at R Bless says, oh Lord, y'all are gonna lose your minds today. Hold on. Where did R Bless comment go? R Bless said, I'm here eating an oxtail and white rice right now for lunch. I'm happy for you. Okay. BY says, are you really Jamaican? Yes, I am. Okay, DV. Oh, thank you. DV says, I'm with Kempire about oxtails. And there's not a lot of meat on them. I don't like them, but I get it. You guys love them, and they're very expensive. Kai says, you should become vegan. It's been on my list of to-dos. Look, it's been on my list. Because, again, I don't eat a lot of meat now. I only eat meat to survive. As someone that works out, I do Pilates, like I need my protein. And vegan, it really is it's a job. Okay? Look at J.I. says, is he even Jamaican? You know what? Antho says, I can't be vegan. I love meat. Oh, you know what? Sidebar. Can we just take a quick sidebar? Remember Nancy, who I brought here on the channel before? For those that remember, let me know in the chat. Remember Nancy, the Vedic astrologer that I brought on before? She looks at your birth chart, and some people should not have meat. Or some people should have a lot of meat in their diet. They should always have meat. So your body naturally goes towards things that are good for you. She can find out, based on your birth chart, things that you should be eating or avoiding. I'm going to bring Nancy back. I just had a recent reading with Nancy. She told me a long time ago I should be a vegetarian. Sen says I don't eat a lot of meat either. See? Well, that's true too. Tali says there are a lot of Jamaican vegans. You're still Jamaican. Make them look. You're right, Tali. Because wait, aren't Rastas vegan? Look. Or vegetarian? I don't know if they're vegan. Is Pinky's mom, because I know she has dreads, is she a Rastafarian? I wonder. That's too, Sissy says, based on your blood type too. There's a whole book about that. We get on, but I like this community because we talk about things. I know it's not necessarily 100% related to the recap, but we learn from each other. Okay? I'm going to bring Nancy back though. So if you're interested in Vedic astrology, stay tuned. I'm going to bring Nancy back, which reminds me, I got to contact Nancy. I'm going to bring Nancy back. I might be a members only. So this is going to be a premium because I want her to be able to look at your birth chart and give you some quick tips and things like that. So if you're down for something like that, members, become a member today, because I think I'm going to make it like a members only live that we do. Just saying. Okay, Kira, that's what I thought. I'm not Rastafarian, so damn, can you imagine if I was Rastafarian? My dreads would have been pulled all the way back. Kara says Rastafarians are vegan. That's what I thought. Okay, Kara with the beautiful photo. Austin, DM me and I can send you her information. But if you go back to the Kempire Radio YouTube channel where just put Nancy Kempire Radio, it should come up and her info should be in the description. It's also on the podcast. But I am going to, matter of fact, I'll put the information in this video after the live as well so that you can contact her if you want to get a Vedic astrology birth chart reading. I swear by her stuff. There are certain things, okay, we're taking a quickly. There are certain things that she's recommended for me over the years. Some things I've done, some things I'm just starting to do, like different, quote, remedies that actually worked. Just saying. Anyway. Okay. All right. Miss Alex says, I can't imagine Kemp with locks. If I had hair, that's why sometimes I'm like, should I go to Turkey and get the thing done? Because I want to be able to play and do different things with hair. Or maybe I'll just get a Rastafarian wig with some dreads, right? Kay says, you really should bring her back. Yeah, no, Nancy's coming back. Nancy's coming back. So if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to have her do a quick reading. She's not going to do like a full reading like she's done for me. You can, but you'll have to pay her for that. But if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to bring Nancy back. And I'll let you guys know when we're going to do it so that the members have a heads up. But yeah, it will be like a members only live so that you're able to get like a personal birth chart, like a quick one though. All right. Hold on. Teeny says, Kempire will, first of all, my name is spelled Kempire. Tanika says, Kempire will never say nothing nice about Porsha. Were you not here last week? I said a bunch of nice things about Porsha, right?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Look, I said she's pretty. I said something nice about her in this live. All right. I said, wait, what did I say? I said she scammed Simon Gobadia, and I was here for it. All right. I said, I'd get you a Mama Joyce wig, Kempire. I can't. Charlene, I'm not going to even read what you said. That is terrible. All right, Miss Bernice, because where you been, Miss Bernice? Miss Bernice is in the building. Miss Bernice, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Miss Bernice says, hey, everyone watching for your recap. I love you, Kempire, in the chat. Miss Bernice, when we don't see you, we're like, where you been? But I think you said you're going to be hemmed up with the football, right? The football season? Don't get me lying. Teach, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Teach says, I used to be vegan, but I have a gluten and soy allergy. All I could eat was fruit, veggies, and some grains. And then you start not feeling yourself. That's a part of the reason I'm like, I would like to become vegan, but it really is a science depending on your body. And you have to also make sure that you're getting your protein and getting all of your nutritional goals for your body. But y'all know also I have a nutritionist. So, Alaya, is that how you pronounce your name? Alaya, I know this is a different name. Thank you so much for the Super Chat and for being a member. We appreciate your support. All right, guys, you can also support just by liking today's video. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. But if you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call-in link. For those that are asking, am I recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island? I am recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island, but on Tuesday Takeover. Go check out our last Tuesday Takeovers. There are timestamps. You can watch our recaps there. I will be recapping it tomorrow. This is where I can take my time with our recaps for Real Housewives of Atlanta and not feel like, okay, 3 o'clock, I got to get off of here and go live again and talk my face off with this damn show. All right, let's move on from this event. So Shamia and Phaedra get into this little bit of a beef. But they quickly move, because Shamia runs with the whole narrative that, not Shamia, Phaedra runs with the narrative like, oh, you don't like me because of what you said in this interview. Shamia in her confessional is like, that's Cap. She's trying to have drama with her. Like you're trying to have drama with these other people? And you're trying to cause drama with other people that have nothing to do with you, Shamia? Okay. So Shamia doesn't believe it. I do feel like it was a bit of a reach to say that Shamia was talking about your kids. She really wasn't talking about your kids, but I can see how you can look for the Phaedra stance. I can see why Phaedra can associate it with her kids. So what are you trying to say? My kids are not well-rounded and doing well? I don't think she meant any harm in her response. You can't win in a conversation about something like that. Who would you choose for your godmother? So if I chose Phaedra, Cynthia would have been upset. You know what I mean? But I think it's the whole idea of going into, Noelle is so well-rounded. She's a good girl and blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, I mean, you didn't have to go all that. You could be like, Phaedra's a great mom. She has great boys. I didn't see the full interview, so maybe she did say that. But from the clip that they showed, I could see the slight shade. Could y'all see what I'm saying when it comes to what Shamia said in that question? Yeah, Cynthia's great godmother, daughter, Noelle's turned out great. But at the same time, like, what are you trying to say about Phaedra as a mom? Phaedra as a parent, like her boys are well-rounded. They seem really sweet too. I don't know. It was a bit of a reach. All right. Look, twerking on a fence, y'all. Twerking on a fence. All right. Let's move on from there. So then we get this random moment right before it goes to commercial with Maury Povich. Breaking news. He has a lie detector test. That's what Maury has been famous for on his talk show. Lie detector results say that Pinky does not eat meat. I thought that was a really cute moment. And then you see Pinky in her confessionals. Thanks, Maury. And then we saw Maury Povich was on Watch What Happens Live this past week as well. I thought that the fact that you got Maury Povich to show up to film something for you and show up for Watch What Happens Live. Okay, let's move on. All right. Okay, look, Nubian says the question was shady to begin with. They set her up. Look, they set Shamia up. All right, let's move on to this scene. Porsha is at home with her sister Lauren and their kids. So the kids are running around this big, beautiful man. The house is beautiful. I actually like this house more than the other house that he had with Fallon. That was a nice house too, but this is so light and airy. It's so big. It's it's a beautiful home. I know that Simon is over there watching this show. Yes, and I do believe that Simon is watching this show. And I just know he's watching, and it's not they all look in my house. She got men and women in my bedroom. I'm paying for this house, and I'm deported, and I can't even fly into the United States of America. Keena says that Lauren looks good. Yeah, but they're both beautiful. Both Lauren and Porsha are beautiful women. Lauren does look good. So they're sitting there having a drink, and Dennis, I think, shows up. Dennis does not even look like himself. Dennis' beard is all grown out. It's graying, which is fine. He's all grown out. He's got this hat on. He got an ill-fitted tracksuit on. I'm just like, what is going on with Dennis right now? So Dennis sees Portia's new flowers as soon as he comes in. And Porsha says, oh, yeah. And she goes over and she takes the card out. And he's like, oh, who's it from? And she's like, no one. Why would you need to do that? You and Porsha have not been together for a very long time. So why would Porsha, this is why people accuse Porsha of fake and phony storylines and creating storylines. Because this whole situation, them making this a big deal about who she's possibly talking to or dating. Here's the thing in Atlanta. It'd be hard. First of all, it's hard to find a good man, a straight man in Atlanta. It's even harder probably to find a man in Atlanta that Dennis doesn't know or other people don't know or know about. Okay? So I don't understand this scene. It actually annoyed me because I was like, you have a girlfriend, Dennis. Porsha, it's got a girlfriend and a boyfriend. I don't understand what we're talking about here. It's one thing if you're talking about who's around your kid, but that's not the excuse that he was giving. Foxy says he seemed jealous. Yeah, it was definitely giving jealous because why do you need to know who's sending me flowers? And why am I acting like, you think I would have gotten up and removed a card so Dennis wouldn't see who sent me the flowers? First of all, it said, I want you on it. It didn't have anyone's name on it. So I was just like, this is very performative. It was giving very performative. She likes to roll Dennis out when it's convenient for her storyline. She did the same thing last season, and she was mad at Drew because Drew was using Dennis as her storyline. She said, no, you're my baby's father. You're my baby's father. Jermaine says, child, Dennis is still tapping that. Y'all think? I don't think so. If Dennis was still tapping Porsha, I believe Dennis would have showed up there looking a little bit more prim and proper. I really do. Dennis did not roll up there looking, oh, I'm still trying to make that mine. No. Dennis rolled up in there. I gotta. Oh, you need me to film with you today, and then he shows up as is. Okay, roll out Dennis. Next up, so Torrin. You remember Torrin from Candy and the Gang? Torrin also did the after shows last season, like the set design. So Torrin, Porsha has hired because they're going to do a YouTube channel for Pilar. And they're also going to do a podcast. So she's relaunching her podcast, which we have not seen. Have we seen the new Porsha and Lauren podcast? We haven't seen that yet. I remember I said we went to the whole YouTube channel. She left her YouTube channel for dead again. All these housewives and their YouTube channels. She left her YouTube channel for dead. But apparently she's launching her podcast, Porsha for Real, with her sister Lauren. All right. So she hires Torrin to create the set. I know Simon's mad as hell. Because what room was that room before when Simon was living there? So they go to this other room, and then we get to see another part of the house. I'm like, this is such a beautiful home. I love property. So they go into this other room. Torrin's there, and he's just trying to take everything in and give his design ideas, okay? While they're in there, Porsha accidentally refers to Dennis as babe. And I know you're all going to run with the narrative. They're still hooking up. I don't think so. I think there's always going to be a little bit of flirtation because I think Porsha knows how to use her feminine wiles on Dennis because she knows Dennis probably still would like to be with her. So I think she uses that to her convenience. She's babe, and she's something between me drinking and muscle memory. Okay. Dr. Jen, if the ghost assignment came through that scene, that would have made this episode a 10. Why didn't we get the ghost assignment in that moment? We need the ghost assignment to show up every once in a blue during this season. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. So she accidentally refers to Dennis as babe. Oh, no, it's not babe. But then I said to myself, why is Dennis acting like a jealous boyfriend? Because Lauren is trying to hide because Dennis grabbed the card. I don't know why he cares. I don't understand why it's even a big deal. Y'all are no longer together. You have a girlfriend, Dennis. She's got a girlfriend and a boyfriend. Lauren will always be Porsha's lackey. We don't talk enough about that. I know that's her sister, but she also acts as her lackey. Trying to hide the card from Dennis. Like, why do you need to hide anything from Dennis? So she runs to get the card. She put the card in the water. So then Dennis and Porsha get into it about who she's dating, because apparently Mike lives in his building or something like that. And Dennis doesn't even live in that building anymore. Dennis has a house with his girlfriend. And I was like, he has a girlfriend? All right. But then Dennis says in regards to Porsha, he says that she can't date people that she knows. He says that she doesn't make good decisions when it comes to men. That seems to trigger Porsha. She's, what are you talking about? You're included in that if I don't make good decisions when it comes to men. She might be right. I just don't get the scene. It felt like it was a produced scene. And I know, yes. Do I think Dennis still wants to be with Porsha? Yes. Do I think they're still hitting with each other? No. I don't think anything is happening there in regards to that. And him acting jealous, if I was a girlfriend, I'd be pissed at this scene. And I'm sure he's probably going to say to her, it's just a scene. It's not real. She wanted me to roll up in film. You think I'm going to roll up in film looking like that normally? She called me on a hot second to come and film. And I was like, fine, I'm going to go see my daughter. I think he will do anything for Porsha because he has feelings for Porsha and they have a child together. And a lot of people say, as he should. Fine. Saintly Iconic says he was right, unfortunately, when it comes to him saying that she doesn't make good decisions when it comes to men. I would agree. I wish he would have made it more about, I don't want just any old body around my daughter. I wish that he would have made that sort of reasoning. Tech Diva for cybersecurity. I love that for you. Thank you for being a member. Tech Diva is celebrating 13 months of membership. Not too much on Kempire, not liking oxtail or seafood. Ital food, which is the Jamaican version of vegan, is a well-established lifestyle. We are not a monolith. Hashtag get behind me, Kemp. Look, where's my little get behind me? Yes. Guys, I'm in the middle of rewatching Game of Thrones. It's such a good rewatch. They're celebrating 15 years. This is not brought to you. Look, this is not brought to you by HBO, but I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones again. And it's such a good rewatch. And thank you, Tech Diva. Thank you. Because they want to tell me about my culture. But I'll tell you this, my own Jamaican family will make me feel like I'm not Jamaican enough because I was born here. Both parents are Jamaican. All siblings are Jamaican. Stop. Any forever. Thank you so much for the super chat. And he says, laughing my A off. Why do you say Simon's name like that? Because that's how he sounds. Simon Gabadia. Simon Gabadia. And I tell you, I can't even get to the register that he does because I went through puberty. I can't even completely mimic Simon's voice. She's like, why do you say Simon's? Some of y'all are new here, so I get it. Y'all not up on some of our lingo. I heard somebody's using my regular Robin lately. I don't claim a lot of things, y'all, when it comes to some of the things that we say here on the channel, like little Kemp-isms and things like that, or Kempire-isms. But that's one I'm going to claim because I remember exactly where we were when it was created. We were on TikTok Live. We were watching an episode when we were doing our watch parties with Real Housewives of Potomac. They were on a cash trip. It's a double entendre when we talk about regular. But I see some of y'all using it and not citing your sources. Remember where it was birthed. Here. Okay. Anyway. GC, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. GC says, what's needed for a chart? Date of birth time. Yes, date of birth time and the city where you were born. And I know that's sometimes hard for a lot of people. I believe Nancy has done it. Like, she has ways of trying to get it for you in regards to figuring out your time of birth. There are ways, but it just makes it harder. So it's important to know your birth time. And I know some of y'all do not have your own birth certificate, which I find to be shocking. Grown and don't have your birth certificate. Your mama still got your birth certificate. Go get your birth certificate. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Ariana says, hey, I'm back from my travels. I was about to ask Ariana. I've been missing the lives and work was getting in the way today. It's okay. I understand coming back after vacation. You're catching up, Ariana, but Ariana's always here. Hope you had a fantastic vacation. She was abroad. She was in cold weather, though. I need to go somewhere warm. The winter we've had here in New York, I can't. I got to go somewhere warm. NASA, thank you so much for the super chat. NASA says, laughing out loud, but Dennis gave Porsha some truth serum at the end there, that she doesn't make the best decisions when it comes to men. I have to agree with him with that. Like, he wasn't lying, but acting jealous with someone that's not your wife, girlfriend, she's your baby mother, but no. J.I., thank you for the super chat. J.I. says, Porsha actually has the best business acumen on RHOA outside of Candy. Kenya, Kelly, Pinky, and Drew have money problems. All Porsha's businesses are successful, and she has a special contract with NBC. J.I., that's where I have to disagree with you. Just because someone has filed for bankruptcy does not mean that they have bad business acumen. The fact that she filed for bankruptcy, because that's the thing. A lot of people swear that they're experts in business and have never owned a business, don't know anything about business. You see how social media is reacting to Pinky's filing for bankruptcy. Just because she's scaled too quickly doesn't mean that she's bad at business. This is why I want to see a full circle moment with Pinky to let you guys understand and see this. We see this all the time with other people, but we don't get the story. We don't get the backstory. And I think that's important to know. Porsha doesn't have... You are saying that because we haven't talked about Porsha's businesses failing. That's because Porsha hasn't really scaled her business beyond online. I'm not saying that they're bad businesses, and I'm not saying that she has a bad business acumen, but to say that she has the best on RHOA, based on the type of business she's having, it's not the same as a restaurant. Just saying. Very different businesses. But look, Porsha, look how she ended up with the house. You're right. She has a good contract with Bravo to the point where they're uplifting her in ways that you're like, why? But I wouldn't say that she has the best when it comes to these ladies. Okay. Noda Queen, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Noda Queen says, I do think Porsha and Dennis are still hooking up, but I don't think Dennis wants to be with her. He just likes the access. Oh my God. I don't think they're still hooking up, y'all. I really don't. Annie, thank you so much for the super chat. And he says, I'm not new, but but it's making me laugh extra hard today for some in regards to the Simon Gobadia. And you just didn't know the context? Yeah. All right. That part too. LH says, isn't Cynthia doing better than Porsha? I don't know about better. We don't know all the but Cynthia does have multiple businesses too. We were just talking about that during this live. All right. Okay, hold on. I said what I said. I literally just purchased Go Naked and 3 sets of Pampered by Porsha. Good. Good. All right, moving on. Look, moving on. We've already been talking for how long now? This part. Kimmy says, utilizing bankruptcy, especially based on in how this country handles it. She says, utilizing bankruptcy is good business acumen. And this will lead us to the conversation that we have to have about Pinky and her husband. We will get to that in just a second. Oh, no, we can talk about it now. So Pinky and her husband, Derek, go on this walk. They're working out. Derek is in the middle of this $10 million project, hence why he had to go to this business dinner. Pinky finally tells Derek about filing for bankruptcy. And he's, what? What stood out to me is that some of the stuff that he's heard online, he hasn't heard from his wife. In regards to some of the things that have come out. I'm guessing the lawsuits. But we have to also keep in mind, too, when she got with this man, she had this business already. So I can understand where Pinky is, I don't want to drag you down. I don't need you in my business, because maybe she doesn't want him, because she doesn't want him taking her business. She built this. So I can understand on some level, she built this on her own. She's not involved, but that's part of marriage, too, and partnership. But I could see how on some level, she's just, I built this on my own. I don't want to involve you in this. Yeah, 32 months of membership. Thank you so much for the support. 32 months. Everyone wish Ilya a happy anniversary. We appreciate you. All right. So he then, once he finds out that Pinky is $5 million in debt, and that's why she's filing for bankruptcy. She said that she's filing for bankruptcy so she can have a clean slate, okay? Derek says that he will give her the money. And he's like, why does everyone else know about this bankruptcy before me? Understandable. I feel like the show and the cast shouldn't know about this bankruptcy before him. But remember, she hasn't technically filed for the bankruptcy just yet. And he says that he offers to give her the $5 million. And she's, no, I'm not going to take the $5 million from you. But he's, no, I need to be there for you. I need to hold you down. I'm holding you down till the wheels fall off. I wasn't, in my head, look, I'm not a financial expert. However, I think it's in their best interest as a married couple, their best interest as a couple, not to take the $5 million that you might have liquid, to take that money if bankruptcy is going to be approved and you don't, and you still have that $5 million. I get it. He's worried about how this looks to the public because a lot of people do not understand bankruptcies, don't understand business. And people are going to run with the narrative, oh, she's broke. Her business is failing. This business is closing and blah, 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 blah. That's going to happen regardless. But I think it's definitely the fact that he can say, her partner, her husband, can say, I can give you the $5 million. Remember, I heard allegedly that Victoria Beckham's, remember her fashion line? Apparently that wasn't doing really well. That wasn't doing well at all. And her husband, who has the millions, David Beckham, came in and saved her business. I don't know if she filed for bankruptcy. I don't think she filed for bankruptcy. But that's different if your husband comes in before you file for bankruptcy and decides to help you, if that's going to help you. But I don't feel like he should. I don't feel like she should. Patricia says he was right. She should have told. That's the one thing I have to agree with Derek. She should have told him. Before you told anyone else, I do believe during this walk wasn't the first time that she told him about the bankruptcy. I think this was the time that they decided to film and tell him about the bankruptcy. What he pointed out that I thought was disturbing is that some of the things that he finds out about her business, he's been finding out online. So I thought that was the thing that stood out to me the most. Pinky gets really emotional because I want to be there for you. I want to help for you. But I don't want to drag you down with me. And I think that's partially because she started this business. She was successful with this business on her own. I think it's a lot of ego. She does lead with a lot of ego in regards to, oh, I'm a millionaire. I live really well. If you saw her on Watch What Happens Live, I want to clear it up. The house that they seized wasn't my personal home, but I do live in a big, beautiful home. You guys have seen it. She does lead with that, her ego, so I can understand on some level. She's just, I'm going to get myself out of this. I've been through a lot in my life. I will get myself out of this. And she's going to have the biggest swan song once she does. And I want to see that. And I told you guys this before when they announced that Pinky was going to be on the show. I said she has an interesting story to tell from the beginning to where she is now. And I want to see the full circle moment where she's back in a better place. We were just talking about Pat McGrath. She filed for bankruptcy and everyone's like, oh my God, not Pat. Why would Pat have to file for bankruptcy? Her business is so good. Her makeup is so good. Only for Pat to garner $30 million in investment. So we need to start educating ourselves better when it comes to understanding what these bankruptcy things mean. It's not necessarily always a good thing, but we are going to learn. We're going to learn a thing or two. It doesn't mean that Pinky's broke in the least bit. But she's saying that she wants to use this bankruptcy to reorganize her business, start off with a clean slate. I want to see her have this full circle moment in regards to building her business back. Because if she was able to build it to a $100 million company, I think she'll be able to do it again. But we shall see. Jermaine says, I agree, Kemp. I want to see Pinky win too. I want to see that. She's the only one this season that really has a compelling storyline. One of the few people this season. Damn, Rochelle says Trump's businesses filed for bankruptcy 6 times, about 6 times. I'll just say allegedly. People of color need to understand how to use the loopholes like other races when it comes to these issues. Yeah, it's made up. It's made for businesses like this. And I know she filed for bankruptcy. I don't know if it's been approved yet, but we shall see. If anything, the bankruptcy saved that property that she had seized. The bankruptcy, because they were like, oh, you can't seize a property that's after I filed for bankruptcy. That has now been put in her possession. She's found someone that's going to rent from her, and now she has income coming in. Tina says, yes, full circle for my soror. She's a Delta. That's all the Deltas. All right, I'm done talking. This was fun. I'll see you guys later. No. Joking. If you remember the channel, I did drop the call-in link on the community tab for those that want to call in and share their thoughts on this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Let's get to 1,200 likes, and I'll drop the call-in link for the general audience. I know I said 1,000, but there's over 2,000 of you watching on multiple platforms, so keep liking the video. I'm sure we can get to 1,200 likes. Dina Cole, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Oh, wait, let me shimmy. You know when y'all send $20 or more, I'm shimmying. Okay. Dina Cole says, can't call in today, but wanted to say Gerald isn't considering that IVF takes a toll on Shamia's body. That's where let's pay attention to that part of the conversation. Him saying they'll cross that bridge when they get to it if the embryo doesn't take is a bit off-putting. Gerald in that entire scene was off-putting to me. Because I was like, and she says that they have not even talked about the alternatives. And they should. They should. And yes, thank you, Foxy, for a reminder. Reminder, everyone, please respect the timer. You're getting 30 seconds. 30 seconds to share your thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, we got members backstage. The live chat, once we get to 1,200 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. Mr. Mellon Magic, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Mr. Mellon says, notes, Shamia is cringe and should be fired. Kelly is just loud and a scaredy cat. Porsha, if you watching, report Kelly to PETA about dyeing that dog fur. Oh my goodness, poor Chi-Chi. Kendra, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Kendra says, did you see that Candy said that she's doing a New York City show? Yes, I did, Kendra. Kendra, do you see the short form video that I did talking about Candy? Oh no, the long form video that I did talking about Candy. And I said in that video that I was going to go to the New York City show. I need to get my tickets though. But yeah, I will be in the house. All right, and it's in June. I think it's like June 15th or something like that at City Winery. Yeah, so stay tuned. Taurus Moon says, every time you say that, they do not respect the timer. Do y'all hear that? People waiting to call in. They say you're not respecting the timer. You better start respecting the timer. I'm just going to cut y'all off. Charge says, poor doggy. Poor Chi-Chi. All right. All right, let's get to our calls. Please keep in mind, the opinions of the calls do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged and of their own opinion, and they're calling in of their own free will. They agree not to use profanity. They agree not to use any derogatory statements about anything, anyone's bodies, etc., etc. All right. Ooh. Immortal Knight says, Gerald treats Shamia how you talk about us cancers. Love you, Kemp. From your favorite cancer from your New York City show. You serious? No. Look, no. I don't think it's the same. I treat cancers a lot more lovingly. All right, let's get to our callers. Duchess is backstage. We're going to bring Duchess up first. Duchess, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta? Duchess, I can't hear you. Duchess. And I don't even see the thing moving in regards to sounds. Duchess, maybe drop out and call back in before I drop the calling for everybody else. Because sometimes that might be... Unless you have headphones on, Duchess. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. It was my car connecting to the Bluetooth. Sorry. Just very quick. I have Pinky's vegan cookbook. I collect cookbooks of all types.
Oh.
And looking at those pictures of her with the red in her hair, I think she looked a lot younger and more youthful. And I really do wish she would go change the color of the dye that she uses, because I think the silvery grayish makes her look a little bit older than what she actually is. I think she looks so good with the red. It looked really good on her.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, this is an okay episode. I'm just going to wait to see what the season holds. But yeah, I just wanted to comment. I think Pinky looks so much more youthful. She would get rid of the silvery gray, whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Duchess. All right. Let's bring up Angel next. Hold on. Angel, are you there?
Here, Kemp. Okay, so Porsha's whole scene was fake. Filming ended in November of 2025. Where are those YouTube channels? We don't see Pilar nowhere. We don't see Porsha anywhere. Pinky, I respect everything she's showing us and appreciate her vulnerability. And I hope she does get that win. Drew, her and her orange wig were not missed. She called in sick because she couldn't afford to donate to Pinky's charity. So she was like, let me sit this one out. And lastly, Phaedra was not lying about how you have to keep your kids on your toes. As a fellow short mom who has kids taller than her, that was the truth. So I respect that. And that's the only thing I would say I respect about Phaedra. Hi, Kim.
Thanks, Angel. Woo! Wow. All right. Dewan is backstage. We're going to bring Dewan up next. Dewan, what did you want to share?
Oh, wow. I got on late and I'm at the top. Thank
That's
that membership. It pays off, baby.
It pays to be a member.
Let me just say, I hate that Porsha is so fake this season. I like you. When I was watching that whole scene with them in the closet, I'm like, should you really be telling this man that you just met that you got equity in homes and you do? Like, it just seemed weird as hell. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm going to be on this until the end of the season. I can't stand Pinky. I don't know what it is, but it's just, bro, chill out. I feel like she's just trying to put on a show. She's, $89,000. I got that in the back. It's Pinky. We get it. You going through something. Handle your business, girl. You don't have to be freaking, the business extraordinaire of the year. Every scene she's trying to give somebody advice on what they should be doing and talk about she should be buying Angela's properties. It's, bro, your stuff. I don't get why people do that. I forgot what else I wanted to say. I hope you have a fantastic day. It's good seeing you.
Thank you. Take care. All right, let's bring up, and live chat, I just dropped the call link for everyone, so be sure to check that out right now. Hold on, before I do that, Immortal says, yes, you were very loving when we met. See, I love on all of our communities, no matter what sign you are. All right, let's bring up Ashley next. Ashley, what did you want to share?
Oh, hey, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's been a long time, but I'm back. And I also have to say, I was definitely sad I missed your show on March 13th because my birthday's March 12th, so I was in Antigua. But I know it was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I had the man pay for that. But really,
love it.
Quick, I don't know. For me personally, I do feel like Kelly is doing a lot in the confessionals that she won't say to her face. So I need you to give that same energy that you be giving in those confessionals, because then I can respect you. So that's my problem with her. I appreciate how Pinky is really telling her story and giving us something to hold on to. And I know people were coming at her, but she's the only one to me giving a real bona fide story. And Angela too. She all right too. And then lastly, two things can definitely be true. So Dennis don't need to be in Porsche business like that about who she with, but also at the same time, who she don't be good. So thank you so much.
You're right. You're right. Thanks, Ashley. And I just wish Dennis would make it more about Pilar. I don't want just any old man or woman coming up in this house around my daughter. I could understand that, but that's not what he said. See, he just came across as jealous. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what's going on?
When Mother's Day means celebrating your mom, your wife, maybe even your daughter as a new mom, trust 1-800-Flowers to help you celebrate every important woman in your life. With double blooms from 1-800-Flowers, order 1 dozen roses and get another dozen for free. It's a simple way to give beautifully, with colorful blooms that make Mother's Day feel meaningful. For every mom you're celebrating, order with confidence and get double blooms at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hey, what up, though, everybody? What up, though, Kempire? Hey, I really don't have anything to say. I'm holding out. Whenever they bring Kenya back, I'll be watching.
Oh.
She not there, I'm not watching.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Well,
but I love your commentary.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
She said she's waiting for Kenya. I already told you, y'all gonna wait a long time. Unless they settle that lawsuit. And I don't even know if they're gonna even bring Kenya back, even after they settle the lawsuit. All right. Definitely not at the same pay. All right, let's bring up Demi next. Demi, what did you want to share? Demi?
Hey, hello? Can you hear me okay? I have my headphones in. I'm on a long walk.
Oh, okay. By the street, because I hear the cars.
Let me go ahead and turn these headphones off if you don't mind. Just one quick sec. I'm turning them off.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that's so much better.
How do I sound now? I'm so sorry. How do I sound now?
Perfect.
Am I better?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. One quick thing. I agree wholeheartedly with Dewan about Pinky. She doesn't come up with her with that whole business. You're not the first person to have a business.
Ooh. Did we lose you? Demi, we lost you now. How did we go? You sounded perfect. Now we lost you.
Oh my God. Am I here?
Now you are.
I am so sorry I'm doing this on your stream.
That's okay.
Okay, moving on. So Angela, I'm excited for the Fangela. I will buy one. Secondly, she should really consider doing a menopause podcast, considering that's the reason why she has the fans out. That's all. I'm going to go because I don't want to ruin your podcast anymore.
No, it's okay, Demi. Thank you for calling in. That's bad. She was trying to be shady. She was trying to be shady to Angela. Angela says she is not going through menopause. Okay? All right. April Aries is backstage. April, what did you want to share?
Hi, good afternoon, Kempire. That gagged me real bad.
Me too.
Towards the end part of the episode where Angela and Pinky were getting into, I said, not the battle of the Brokies. You lost your properties. And see, that's why you just lay low and mind your business. Because Pinky would have said, I should have bought your foreclosed house, because that did happen. And I did enjoy the episode. And I feel like Pinky should have definitely told her husband sooner instead of talking to the other ladies about it. And she's grown on me. And I just want Kelly to just back that up at the reunion, because it's going to be a long ride for her. You know what I'm saying? And also, real quick, Phaedra is the problem, because she was talking trash about the girl eating meat. So Shamia and Angela and Pinky need to jump her.
That's not what she said. She never said that she was eating meat. She said that she owned a meat joint.
You know what? It was close to it.
All right.
Have a good day, Kempire.
You too. Bye. She said close to it. I bet that's Shamia's friend that called. Q Talk says, is it me, or are people totally okay with white housewives being arrogant and flaunting their wealth, but y'all can't stand when black housewives do it? Let Pinky talk her ish. It's something to think about. That is definitely something to think about. Just saying. And y'all always saying that you want a housewife that has the things. And I know you guys think because she filed for bankruptcy means that she doesn't have the things. But no, she said her husband just said, you want me to bail you out with the $5 million? Her husband just said, I have a $10 million dinner that I needed to attend to. Kelly talked about her husband being a $100 million man. Just saying. So that house ain't broke. Okay. All right, let me bring up Noda Queen next. Noda Queen, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. I wasn't even going to call in at first. But the thing with Gerald and Shamia is that not only is he not considering Shamia's health, but y'all also have a new baby that has health issues too.
Yep.
And like, even I was thinking that last season, like she's fresh. Y'all don't even have her stable and you already. What are your priorities, sir? There's only so much quality of life you can provide with money. Like, you have to consider that too. So that just perturbed me. But the reason why I said that about Dennis and Porsha is because their dynamic reminds me of my homegirl and her baby daddy.
Oh.
So yeah, I've seen it before. It looks very familiar. But that's all I got to say. Have a good one.
Thanks, Noda Queen. See, I haven't seen anything like that before, so I'm gonna have to go buy Noda Queen. So we're gonna have to revisit this. Y'all and replay crew weigh in. How would you rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta? Also, let me know. Do y'all think that Dennis and Porsha are still getting it in? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not in their bedroom. Or Simon Gobadia's bedroom. Damn, Simon, everybody named Mama going through your bedroom except you. Please, production, if you can, at some particular point during the season, can you do the Ghost of Simon one more time? Just surprise us. Because that would have been hilarious if the Ghost of Simon came through that garage or whatever room that was, the podcast room. I want to see the podcast room. I hope we get to see like it finally done by the end of the season. You know what I mean? All right. Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey everyone, Anthony calling from San Diego, California. How are you, Kempire?
I love how you moved. Now you moved, and now it's San Diego, California.
No, yeah, just down the street from LA. So it's 3 hours. 4 hours.
It's not down the street.
It's whatever. It's down the street though. I didn't leave the state.
Oh, okay. How are you liking it?
It's not bad actually. Thankfully, got a new job, blessed, overtime, highly favored. So can't complain.
Congrats. Okay.
But for this episode, not really much complaints or even overall this season so far. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Two things, the newbies and bankruptcies. I do K Michelle and Pinky. I always have heard of K Michelle's name and music and the memes from Love and Hip Hop. I will never watch that show, but I love K Michelle on this show. I just think she's a breath of fresh air, as well as Pinky. And then lastly, for the bankruptcies, we have always seen this storyline happen in past Housewives ever since the beginning. However, it's refreshing to see Pinky actually speak from herself instead of someone else from the cast spilling her own tea. Like, I just think it's a different thing, and I get what people think about bankruptcies, but it's not how the whole thing is done. I like how Pinky is explaining it, at least in my opinion.
You should watch some of the old Love and Hip Hop with K Michelle, though. Those were the years when Love and Hip Hop was actually good.
You know what? Yeah, because K Michelle does need to throw some hands at some of these women. But you know what? I'm going to watch her do it to someone else. But that's okay. Phaedra will have her time.
Thanks, Anthony. Bye. No, the years with K Michelle, the earliest with like Jim Jones and Chrissy, those were the good years of Love and Hip Hop. But it just became more rehearsed and performative as the years went on. All right. Arjun is backstage. We're going to bring Arjun up next. Arjun, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Can you hear me, Kempire?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I have a message for Pinky. Pinky, for the burger thing that she has, her restaurant, can she actually post food? I went on the page and I'm seeing like a lot of reels and all that. I just want to see the food. You can't see the food on there. Like, you have to scroll down. So that's the thing for Pinky. Like, post food, because I love vegan food, so I wanted to see it, but yeah, you can't see it.
Are you on her Slutty Vegan page?
Yes, I went on that page and like this lot of videos of the opening there and all that, but the food is missing. Like the marketing side, because no one's gonna scroll through all this page to see the food. So that's also at the start of the episode, you know, Callie was drinking the blue drink. What's that, Pepsi?
Oh, I don't know.
That bottle was big. Not gonna lie, that was a really big bottle that she was drinking. That didn't look like a half a liter Pepsi bottle that you normally get, but yeah. I want you to ask if you knew if that was.
I don't even remember what she was drinking.
It was a blue bottle. I'm guessing it was Pepsi. I want you to know if it was half a liter or was it like 1 liter bottle that she was drinking. But okay, that's all I want you to ask. Bye, Empire.
Thanks, Arjun. Bye. Oh goodness. All right, Leona's backstage. We'll bring Leona up next. Leona, what did you want to share?
I made it.
How are you?
Good. This is my first call-in. I know you were just talking about the hybrid and working from home. My company finally just did hybrid, so my Mondays I can call in, which is great.
I love that. Okay. Congrats.
Working while listening to you. that for me.
I love that for me.
Also, I feel like they're trying to make this like a sitcom now because they try to put the funny in there with the Maury and everything. I like it, but let's get to the meat because it's like, what's going on? They're dragging the seasons, I feel. Like, there's not a lot of stories. It's just, oh, we'll put this funny in here. We'll meet up. Can we get to the details? It's too slow for me right now. But also, we knew she said that lady eat meat, and she was sitting there. I don't know what you're talking about. So you said that. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Leona. Take care. Yeah, she's gonna have a lot to answer for, Kelly, because she's on camera saying that she saw Pinky eating steak, and now I need to know: were you eating steak? Like, I just want to know because if she has proof, I don't know. Immortal Knight, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. I see you sent another super chat. Thank you. You seen Giselle and her daughter with Angelina Jolie? No, didn't see them. I did not see them. Unless it was just posted on social media. Congrats. Look, congrats, I guess. Deborah says, there is no meat. Okay. Why are we screaming? Why are we screaming? All right, y'all. That's it. Shout out to everyone that called in. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Don't forget, tomorrow is Tuesday Takeover. We'll be live like around maybe 2 o'clock tomorrow for our live. We'll be talking about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We'll be talking about some hot topics. And we'll be talking about Bravo, and we'll be talking about Summer House and some of the things that came out. There was an update in regards to the Summer House investigation and who leaked the audio. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Be sure to check out the description for everything in regards to our sponsors, everything in regards to myself, our merch. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. Again, I thank you all for being here. I hope you guys will have a great rest of your day. Let's continue this conversation about the Real Housewives of Atlanta in the comment section. Replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts as well. Everyone have a good day. Wait, hold on. Vegan burgers for $20 to $23. Okay. Are the burgers that good? I'm going to have to go and try her burgers and stuff just to try it. Especially because there's multiple locations in New York, right? All right. Mariposa says, I knew I was late, but it looks like I'm late. Yeah, and I'm getting out of here. Farah says, now I want a steak. Yeah, not me. Told you about a big meat eater. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. For more information on the podcast, head on over to kempireradio.com.